Guys, I think we're finally here. We're finally at an era of Lost Ark where we're actually going to get some really positive changes to the game that I'm really excited for. And some of these changes are coming with the Behemoth update. So let's dive into the patch notes. So this is Lost Ark Chase the Storm, our Behemoth update. As per usual, Henry has a video on these patch notes as well, so feel free to check that out. But with this update comes a few things. And the first thing that's coming is the Behemoth raid. And the exciting thing about this Behemoth raid is that they are doing quite a few changes to make it so that our version of Behemoth is a lot better for our version of the game. So we already know that Behemoth is going to be 1620 instead of 1640. And they have now confirmed that there are going to be some differences in raid balance and rewards for our Behemoth. We already knew there was going to be differences in rewards, but raid balance is now confirmed as well. So these could be things like attack patterns, these could be things like HP. They still haven't confirmed specifically what are the changes, unfortunately, but they did say that if we watch Korean Behemoth guides or videos, we may notice some differences. So with those differences, maybe it might be like health or certain attack patterns being weaker. Who knows, right? But they have nerfed Behemoth for our version because it is going from 1640 to 1620. So that is coming. But the bigger thing, in my opinion, is that they are actually going to be changing up our rewards for our first clear for Behemoth. Instead of getting 20 scales for our first time clear bonus, we're actually getting 100 scales, which is actually incredibly insane. Because if we take a look at this, right, this is on max roll right now, you can see that it takes 30 scales for one transcendence, and for weapon transcendence, it's just like armor, it goes all the way up to 7. So with that, we can do some quick maths, right? Let's pull up our calculator. 7 times 30, because 7 levels, right, and 30 each, is going to make 210 of these Behemoth scales. Now, let's take a look at how many scales we get for Behemoth. So we get a total of 30 scales if we don't buy the box. And if we buy the box, we get a total of 60 scales. So if we do the maths here, right, 60 plus 100 from the clear bonus, that's 160. So if we do 210 minus 160, we can see that we only need 50 more scales. So that means we'll be getting enough materials to do a full transcendence unlock for our weapon in 2 weeks. And this change is absolutely amazing because one, that means that we don't actually have to buy the box at all at the end, the bid box, to max our weapon transcendence in 2 weeks, but also two, because our content is so much faster than in Korea. Korea had a long time between weapon transcendence and tier 4, right? But we only have about a month. So having this accelerated process for our materials is absolutely amazing. And in addition to that, they have also noticed like, hey, look, there's going to be a lot of gold sinks, right? We're going to be putting basically months worth of gold sinks, well, not months, like 5 to 6 weeks worth of gold sinks in the span of 2 weeks. So for the first time ever, they're actually adding the weapon transcendence restoration on the week of release of the raid. So that means when we do our weapon transcendence restoration, there is going to be a lot of that cost that is going to be for free because of these tickets. They haven't really mentioned specifically where these tickets are going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the Oktoberfest area of the shop, because they did say that transcendence restoration tickets are going to be available, and they didn't do a specific specification like here, restoration ticket armor. They just said transcendence restoration tickets. So I'm pretty sure that means that they're going to be doing it and adding it in that October shop. So on top of accelerating our progression process, they're also putting in place things that are going to help us with the gold sinks, which is amazing. And they've also added the blooming Makoko events right back and increasing the amount of silver and gold that we're getting from this. So that's also going to be another area that's going to help us with our progression and the gold cost. it really does seem that they finally are understanding the differences between our version and the Korean version and are putting the things necessary in the game to help us with that progression. How much that will help, we'll have to see, right? We don't know how much this is going to help us out, what the specific changes are, but I'm at least glad that they have us in mind and are making these changes to make it so that our progression is going to be faster, but also at the same time smoother than what would be, put into the game if they didn't make any changes, right? So that's really cool. They've also added some new quests, so a pre-quest and an after-story quest, which comes with quite a few things, which includes a new movement effect and a new MVP background, which is really cool. And then, of course, we are getting this Chase the Storm progression event, and it is exactly as I thought. So this is going to be one of those mission-based progression events that we're going to have, for example, like every time you hone a con gear, every maybe 5 hones, you're going to get extra books to help us with boosting our hones and also bound gold. Henry in his video mentioned that at the end of it, you should be receiving about 45 or so K bound gold from this, which I don't know. It's nice to have, but I don't think that's going to help too much. Like, I think the cost is probably going to end up somewhere between 100 and 150K, probably closer to 150K for that holding if we get the books that do return us the gold. But it is something. It's really nice, right? They didn't have to do that. So I appreciate that. They're also giving us a bonus for clearing Ivory Tower. So Voldis, they're granting us extra free elixirs and ductility catalysts. And then also Thamine. They will grant us Dark Fires and Transcendence Restoration tickets for that armor. So doing a lot of stuff to help us with boosting our progression, but also trying to reduce the gold sink as much as they can. So that is really, really cool. And again, another showing that they are understanding the problems of our game and how to mitigate those problems. As I mentioned earlier, we're getting Blue Mimikokos, and we're also getting Oktoberfest, which is going to be another event shop, which is great. More Rayha fusion materials, Transcendence Restoration tickets, elixirs, and many other items, which I really appreciate. But even better is this event, the Double Fate Ember event. Like, this is so cool, guys. Like, I'm actually super excited and like really appreciating what Amazon is doing these days. Like, they are really understanding what's going on, right? First of all, Fate Embers are fucking awesome, right? Fate Embers are amazing. Getting more Fate Embers is really fun. But also on top of that, that helps us with our progression. It helps us with things like materials. It helps us with things with silver, gold, cards. These Fate Embers give us so much stuff, right? As long as you're not getting those purple card selectors, right? But these Fate Embers do give us quite a few things. And as a result of this double Fate Ember event, we're going to be getting a lot more materials, a lot more gold, a lot more silver, helping us with progression again with those gold sinks, silver sinks that are coming in the game with this update and in tier 4. And also, I think with this, it probably makes sense to do more Chaos Dungeons. I know some of you guys are probably like, more Chaos Dungeon, more homework, but hey, you don't have to do it, right? You don't have to do more characters. But for me, I'm going to try to be doing more characters. That way I can get more materials, more gold, and everything. So this is a really, really nice event. They're extending some of our other events as well, which is great. And they're adding a new set of daily login rewards and a new Fever event for our weekends, which is great. For store, nothing really changing, but as they've announced before, the last thing is going to be Transcendence and Elixir updates, where we are now going to be able to transcend our gear to level 7 as soon as we clear Thamine Gate 3 normal, and then Elixirs, we are now only getting legendary elixirs from Voldis. No more epic elixirs. The epic elixirs we have right now in our inventory are still going to be able to be used, but any clears of Voldis in the future, whether it's normal, whether it's solo, whether it's hard, we are still going to be getting legendary elixirs, which is absolutely amazing. Guys, I know a lot of us love to hate on Lost Ark. A lot of us love to hate on AGS, Smilegate, but I always say we need to give credit where credit is due, and I really think that with these recent changes, they have shown us that they are starting to understand where our pain points are and are really making a lot of positive changes. So I think we really need to give Amazon a high five, a pat on the back for being able to work with Smilegate for a lot of these changes. And yes, I do really, really, truly think that a lot of these changes would have been put in by Amazon earlier, but Smilegate probably were like, hey, no, this is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen, right? So our content ended up being the way it is, and our updates ended up being the way it is. But they have now finally been able to get across the Smilegate line, like, hey, look, we have different players, we have different progression, and as a result, there needs to be changes in our systems to help our players out. And they've finally been able to do that. So I'm really, really positive and really hopeful for future updates of Lost Ark to just make it a better game in general for all of us. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and also if you want to hang out on my stream, please come. I stream every single day, twitch.tv/misoaishiru. Hopefully I see you guys there, because I really do appreciate every single one of y'all. And if I don't see you there, hopefully I see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.